cry. Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one heart, with one need, we all we gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, in peace, all alive. Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world, we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurts, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time to stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurt, with one need, we gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, in all right. Make peace, peace together. Peace. Thank you guys for joining me on Between Two Worlds Shadow Chasing. I'm your host, Eric White Sky Cloud. I wasn't here last week. Yeah, I got so busy, and I was having troubles with YouTube as well. You know, the usual crap. They were trying to prevent me from sharing the truth. Whenever you write something down, whenever you say anything or do anything regarding what's going on, I'm going to check this one. Do a double check here. Hang on a second, guys. Something I want to find out. Let's see here. I'm going to swing this over and not going to do that one here, but I'm going to do this. Just to make sure you guys are able to hear me on another channel. Let's see what happens here. Good. That's able to be working. Good for me. Good. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me on Facebook as well as on YouTube. I'm actually here. Yes, I'm actually here. So we have a lot to talk about. I've been so busy doing research and watching so many things. I'm sure a lot of you guys, those of you who actually have been living all across the land, across the world, locally, as well as maybe whether you're in Canada, United States, or even Europe, You name it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are actually here getting the same story. You're having forest fires, right? Why are these forest fires happening all at once? Well, gee, I wonder why. Cause it's called 15-minute cities. Think about it, right? That's what these guys, this is, folks. But what really gets me, and um, there, I mentioned this before. I mentioned this a long time ago, and I said I wouldn't put it past it that our federal government is going to hire people, and they're going to come in and they're going to try to burn the fire, cause fires, forest fires, and they've been doing it for years. Okay, this is not something just new. It's been around for a long time, and they've been causing forest fires and having to, I guess you'd say, let's make an adjustment here. There we go. When they cause these forest fires, they get people to believe that it's cigarettes being thrown out the window or someone's barbecue. Maybe an amber came out of a barbecue, or you name it. They're always going to blame the citizen. Okay, they're always going to blame the person, saying, "Oh, it's his fault, or she, her fault, or someone started the fire." Well, yes, I will say this. Someone did start the fire intentionally, and actually more than one. I will say not just someone, some people. Now, why are they doing this? Well, like I said before, we've actually, you have to remember now one thing, folks. Burning a forest. I mean, I remember working up north in northern Alberta, where a lot of reservations, a lot of reserves that I worked up there as a counselor for many years, since the 2006, 2005, 2006. I was there back and forth, and they've also had forest fires, but not as many. In fact, even one town, Slave Lake, with a town, one town there almost got burned down. Like they almost lost almost one third of the town when they had a forest fire there. The ambers came into the town and burnt a lot of houses down there. People became homeless or houseless, and it took the city, or the town council, the mayor, to do something about it. So people were donating money from all over Canada to help keep the homeowners, the people that to find them a place. They actually had trailers available for them, so they stayed in there until their house, until the insurance covered the fire, and they actually had to rebuild their houses and to get it back on their feet. Meantime, there was cash being sent to the people for donations, and I remember there used to be containers coming in by the like full furniture, clothing, everything was all brand new. Nothing was used. Everything's all brand new. There were even envelopes of cash being sent out to the people to distribute, so they can actually help pay whether they're going whatever their item they're going to buy, whatever they need, whether it's clothes, food, you name it. That was even distributed, and they were left it to the mayor, that mayor of that time, of that town in Slave Lake. And she, I don't know her name. I can't remember her name, but she was a South Asian mayor at the time. And apparently, I've heard so many bad stories about her. A lot of people, like these are people that actually that were caught, that they lost their houses in the fire. That she even herself, as the mayor, told the people, "Do not send money." Not because she did not want to be responsible for the cash. She did not want anybody to receive money. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder who told her not to allow any money to be brought in. Now, at the time of this happened, that's where Prime Minister Trudeau was actually Prime Minister. Because after we had the fire in Slave Lake, in a matter of time, Fort McMurray was on fire. Okay. And it also, I mean, they lost almost the whole city. There was over 100,000 people in that area, and it started fire. Now, here's what gets me. One amber of fire or a little flame does not burn the whole city down. It has to take something to create it to spread so fast. And it had nothing to do with temperature. because I had friends that lived in Fort McMurray, and they told me that they suspected that someone started this fire purposely, not just one person, a lot of people. And yet, when the fire department from other parts of the world wanted to offer their services, and including Russia, the fire department were willing to fly all the way down from their countries to help service, to help the fire and rescue, to come in and to help put out the fire in Fort McMurray. And what did Trudeau say to them? Don't come. Let it burn. Those are his words. Don't come. Let it burn. Gee, I wonder why. Gee, and I'm thinking to myself now, why are these towns, why is he so desperate to burn these towns down or burn these forests, create forest fires? And not because they're trying to force the First Nations people, and it's always surrounding the First Nations reservations. They keep on the fires that always started in that area surrounding them to force them off the reservation. And where they have to go, they're forced to go to a city or a town, mostly a city, which would be Edmonton. And that's where they create the 15-minute city. They don't want anybody to be independent. Okay, they don't. They don't want people to be independent, and if they wanted people to, if they didn't want people to be independent, because they don't like you to have your freedom. Okay, that's what's going on. They don't want you to have your freedom at all, none. So this is the thing. This is what gets me. They don't want you to have your freedom, but so the WEF had a plan, and they still had the plan. Okay. And when the WEF had the plan saying that this has to go through, we need to put this through so then we can still control the people. Now, and here's what they tried to do. This is how, if you think about it, folks, this is absolute makes sense. If you start a forest fire and make the sky look red, and I'll show you, and there's red skies, whether it's in Montreal, New York, whether it's in Alberta, whether it's in, if anything, it never hits Saskatchewan because they don't care about Saskatchewan much. Manitoba, Ontario, because it's too close to Ontario. Why would they want to burn forest fires in Ontario as much? Because there's nothing there to use it for, unless it's because if Parliament burns down, there's no Parliament, right? So these red skies and the smoke continues on billowing in the sky. What are they forcing you to do? To put on the mask. Now they're saying that they're talking about having people to wear their masks all the time in case of a forest fire. They're saying, oh, it's very possible that the smoke that is burning, that there is smoke in the air and it's so strong, it's possible the fires could cause a chemical reaction and can cause poisoning in the air that we breathe, and it can cause lung conditions, and we advise you to wear masks. Think of it, folks. Think of it. Okay. This is telling you they want you back to be controlling you again. If they can't line you up to get the snake bite, they're going to find other means of ways to control you and tell you what you can or cannot do. Okay. So, and yet our federal government is using people saying, oh, so and so caused a fire. We named her name, and she's the one that caused this fire. They said that she was the one that started the fire up, and she's the one that caused all the fire in Alberta. How can one person decide to burn fire, to create a fire and burn the forest? Who got her to do it? Who hired her to do it? Or was she hired to do it? And or did she really do it? They're going to try to use people as the scapegoat. Now, one person cannot start, not one person, one person cannot cause a complete forest fires all across Alberta. One. And yet there is a woman who admitted on video that was sent to me, and she admitted that Trudum hired her, and she works for Antifa, and she is hired for Antifa, and she said that he hired all the people that work for Antifa to cause these disruptions, whether they are to burn a fire, whether to cause destruction in the inner city, but they are the cause of it all, including anything. Okay. It's getting crazier and crazier that he is finding a way. And now we all know that Trudum is not, the real one is not here. But what I'm trying to figure out is, why are they doing this to create destruction, whether it's the white hats or not, to create destruction of people's land and property, make them homeless, okay? Make them homeless, and where do they go from here? There are people that are awake that are forced to be homeless, and they're trying their darndest to help to get people to wake up, but for some reason, we still have some of those bad people that are doing things for Trudum. They're making sure they can actually keep this fire going. The amber is burning. And yet, I've got someone sent me a film, and I'm sure some of you have seen this, where they were blaming Montreal's fire or across Canada from Canada, and saying that the fire has caused the red sky in New York, and even a fog in the sky in New York. New York's not on fire, but they said a sky, like it's almost like the sky is red. Well, number one, someone actually had done a video in Montreal and a video in New York, because they're just crossing the border. And they said they did a split screen, and the split screen showed that Montreal had no red sky. And yet, how did New York have the red sky? Who actually has sprayed the red sky? Who has created the fog, or the red fog, or the smog in the red sky? Why? What are they covering up? Here's the thing, folks. There's a reason. This is all considered as a distraction. This is all a distraction, whether you are looking at the fire. This is a distraction actually having for you to be in the 15-minute city. It's being prepared. It's being prepared. Now, this is June the 15th. Something big is going to happen on the 17th. And you're going to be notified about this. Something really big is going to happen on the 17th. Remember, folks, 17. It's important. And we need to be prepared for that, whether it's June 17 or July 17. But something very big is going to happen, as in you will see, and it's going to be, everyone's going to be absolutely shocked. Now, my thoughts are this. If the sky turns red, that's a distraction. It means we can't see past the sky, what's in the sky. Now, I remember Bill Gates saying that he wanted to cover the sun so you don't get healthy. That was his plan. That's not all to do with Trudeau. Bill Gates wanted to cover the sky so then you can't see the sun. What does the sun do for you? It helps you get better. Sunshine is important for everyone. It's to make you feel so good. You want a suntan, you want to go out there and enjoy your life, right? And have a great time. But as long as they keep covering the sky, we don't have that wonderful suntan or personality. Like they're making this plan. They had made this plan to cover the sky. So they create forest fires, or they create something else. It's an illusion. Okay? Think about it. So even though the sky was red, and some countries, now here's the crazy part, even in other countries, in the UK, for example, someone actually, I will show you a video. It won't be on YouTube, but it will be on this Facebook page. So if you actually, if you for those of you, if you're on watching YouTube, if you can slip back to Facebook, and I'll show you, we're going to show you an image, about 3 or 4 images of different videos of people telling you and showing you what has happened and what's going on. And be prepared to see this, because you're not going to see it all the time. Not everybody's going to have an opportunity to see what really is going on. All you know is what the news media will not tell you. The mainstream media won't tell you anything. They're told it for you not to know. And if they always say, if they did say there's a forest fire, they're saying it started by someone, not, or they'll say, oh well, now we have to do a fire ban, and you cannot smoke a cigarette, you can't have a barbecue, you cannot go fishing, you cannot go on your boat on the ocean. Guess what, folks? They just passed a law in Nova Scotia just now. Right now, it's illegal, okay? In Nova Scotia, right now, as we speak, it's illegal to go fishing. It's now illegal to go on a boat. They won't let you go on a boat or go fishing. It's a $185 fine. Why is it a fine that you can't go on a boat and can't go fishing? It's called fresh air, folks. They want to keep you here. Again, they don't want you to leave the land. That's where the 15-minute city has started. They always start the 15-minute city in Nova Scotia. They already, New Westminster here in British Columbia had just signed on. They're going to come, and they're also going to be involved in the 15-minute city. So now they're building a whole bunch of street pieces. All the corners are cut off. Basically, they're straightened off corners. There's no more turnoffs anymore. Straight corners, and those are going to be boundaries. They're going to set up boundaries. You watch, folks. Anytime you see these new corners being built, those are boundaries. So if you're out of that boundary, if you're not supposed to be in that boundary, if you're not within that region, then they're going to fine you. They don't want you leaving your house with your vehicle. They don't want you passing the border of another boundary or district. Okay. This is another East-West Germany. That's what this is, folks. This is WEF's idea. They're bringing back the East-West Germany. World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab had stated this is what his plan was to control the people. If he can control the people, he can control their minds. That's what he's trying to do. That's what they want to do. Don't forget, folks, this is all to do with Hitler's plan. He was a brown shirt. He was working for Hitler in the beginning. Hitler was alive. He just passed away last year. So he's carrying on his work. And he's been doing it for a long, long time. Both him, Kissinger, Trudeau, and a few others. Quite a few. There are some that will not agree with this 15-minute city. There actually are some premiers and prime ministers, as well as some presidents, will not agree with the 15-minute city. They won't agree. Some actually have not agreed. And those people have that freedom. Even Australia will have its 15-minute city. Right now, in England, already has its 15-minute city. And the people are pissed. They're absolutely protesting right now as we speak, and the police officers are actually abusing their I guess to say abusing the law, and they're putting beat downs on the people. Now, yes, Keith, you say, well, if the white hats have won, why we worry? I'm not saying you. The whole story is this: stop being lazy and waiting for it to be over. You have to make an effort to say no in public. Let the people know how you feel. You don't just walk away and say, oh, it's not my problem. I'm going to go back to work. That has nothing to do with that. It's all to do with participation. If you are awake, you have to try and see if you can participate with the rest of the people, because as long as these people keep on taking advantage of you, you will always be controlled. And Canada was the worst to be controlled, because we've been so passive for so many years, all of our lives, because that's exactly why we always kept on saying, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. We've gotten lazy. Okay. Travis says African South is going down economic crash. Yeah. The banks, when the banks crash, they're trying to also create the digital coin, or not digital coin, the digital banking. That means that we won't be able to use our cash, or trying to tell us we can't use our cash. Don't accept that crap, folks, because there's never a law that tells you cannot use your money. I've had listening to so many people out there saying, oh, your cash is not really cash, that it's actually part of the corporation, it's not even valid. That is bull crap. When they say it's minted, even your Canadian Tire money, that piece of paper that you actually are given the coupon, that's still valid dollar, because it's minted in a mint itself. It is considered money, real money. You can take that very same Canadian dollar, the Canadian Tire money, and use it to purchase product in the Canadian Tire stores. It's still minted, and they cannot turn you down. Anytime anybody's been into any Canadian Tire store and, oh, well, I don't need this paper, it's minted paper. It's not something that you just throw away. So anytime you go to Canadian Tire, if you guys are living in Canada, you having any Canadian Tire money, if they give you more of those coupons, use them. They're yours. They're real. It's real. If you have been collecting them, start using them. That's cash, real cash. I bet you didn't know that, did you? Canadian Tire money is minted, real, legally minted. It's legal tender. My mother used to say, if they minted toilet paper, it's still minted. It's still valued. If someone writes an IOU on a piece of toilet paper, it's still valid. I'm not kidding you. If someone signs a contract on a piece of toilet paper, it's still valid. It's just material. Once you sign it, it's valid. You can make a paycheck out of it. Piece of toilet paper. Oh, I work for the crapper here. You know, I've been trying to bring the story out for such a long time. Yeah, Canadian Tire still does. They still have the cash still around, the paper. They now they're trying to get people to make points. Like they'll collect points. But if you still have some extras on hand, like if you're laying it in your drawer somewhere, pull them out, use them. That's valid cash. You can take it to Canadian Tire and buy things with them, right? Now, there are some stores like Canadian Tire right now. Some Canadian Tire stores are actually wanting you to use a Q code to get access to go into the store. And if you don't have a Q code, they won't let you in. But they also want you to have to be triple jabbed and a passport again, that same stupid passport. You know, the snake bite passport. They want you to use it again. No, don't use it. Don't even download the Q code, because they track you everywhere you go. right? They track you. No, they do. They're starting to collect points now, Tom. Um, people actually do transactions. As long as you have a phone number, they start to collect your points to create points in there. They start doing that because my wife is doing it now because they're going to be not using the paper. They don't want, and they're saying, oh, if we start creating the paper, you're actually doing carbon problems. You're creating carbon issues. And the thing is also too, folks, the reason why they want to do all these forest fires, so then you cannot drive your vehicle. They want your cars off the road completely. I don't care if your car's electric. They still don't want it on the road. They only want you to drive once a year out of the city. They only allow you to maybe 2 or 3 trips to do a longer trip to go visit whoever you need to go through, but that's it. Their goal was basically making sure that you don't go anywhere. And then if you decide not to listen to them, then they went, oh, they're going to give you a fine. Don't pay the fine. Oh, we're going to go to your bank account, take the money out. You can't do that. It's illegal. It's considered extortion. That's extortion because the WEF is not a bank. Think about it, folks. The WEF is not a freaking bank. They don't own us. And yet the people, the government is actually accepting them as the leader. Are you kidding? We never voted for them. And you guys are letting this happen. You're letting them take over you. Tell these to the cops. Look, guys, under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well as the Nuremberg Code 2.0 and the Geneva Convention, you cannot do this to us. And if you carry on to follow the guidelines of the WEF, then we're going to have you charged under military tribunal. And those guys go to jail. We don't. They'll be actually having to deal with the military. If we all switched to electric, there wouldn't be enough on electric grid to support us all. No, there won't be. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're also what they're trying to do. Thank you, Travis. What they're also trying to do is they want to remove natural gas away from us. We cannot use, they don't want us to use natural gas stoves, natural gas fireplaces. Okay. They made it illegal in Ontario to even have a fireplace. That means they don't want you to burn wood in your fireplace. Your fireplace is very, very safe, but they don't want you because they're calling it a carbon problem. It was started from Ontario. They created this, it was Trudeau that passed that bill. They don't want anyone to survive. Ontario is the coldest province in Canada, next to Nova Scotia, as well as New Brunswick. Okay. Prince Edward Island, those are the coldest regions because they had an ice storm this past year. 1 million people had no electricity. And yet people were trying to use gas now or natural gas, and the government or somebody showed up at their house. And some people even try to even start their own fireplace and told them you cannot burn wood in a fireplace. And they gave them a ticket, even though there was no power in the house. They showed up at the door and gave them a ticket, told them they gave them a fine. I can't remember what it was, how much of a fine was. And they told them they could not burn any fire in the house to keep warm because it wasn't natural gas or electrical. Like, really? You know what I mean? So that's what they're trying to do. I know, Tom, you're up in Ontario region, so you know about the ice storm, I'm sure. And Alberta is the coldest province in Canada. I'm originally from Ontario, Toronto, Ontario. Viv said, okay. Yeah, well, Alberta can be very cold too. I mean, I lived in Alberta many years, but if you're close to the ocean, it's going to be a lot colder, and that's Ontario. So those things can happen. Also, this year, July the 1st is supposed to be Canada Day, right? Well, this year they're no longer going to be allowing anyone to use fireworks. Why? Because they're calling it a carbon climate problem. So no one's allowed to use fireworks. And if they ever heard anybody using fireworks or even in sight of using fireworks, they're not going to be just fined, they'll be taken to jail. They're really making it adamant. So these people that used to do fireworks contests between countries no longer accepted. They're making it where that it's going to be. They're saying, "Oh, you're creating pollution and climate problem. That's the reason why we are all sick." And da 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 da. That's not true. There's a fellow who actually pointed out, and I'm going to share this video with you guys. There's a fellow who actually pointed out and stated because he actually is a researcher. He's a scientist, and he said that in Canada, as well as across the world, we don't have as much pollution as we once had because the people were far more awakened and have been actually being aware of what's going on. But you cannot do zero climate. You cannot do zero carbon. You can't. Never. Because if you wouldn't do zero carbon, you might as well kill all the animals and kill all the humans and everybody dies and then just leave the world as it is, naked. That's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to have barren land. You're going to have barren land. That's it. That's zero carbon. But guess what? They can't be zero carbon because what? Because you do have trees and there are certain fishes in the sea and there's whales. They all have carbon in them. When they release carbon from every animal, every piece of wildlife, fish above or down below, every animal, even a bird. And that's why they're trying to create the SARS virus. They're trying to bring it back to get you to so they can kill all your animals, all your birds. So you can't have a bird. They don't want you to have a parakeet. They don't want you to have a little cardinal or little budgie. They want them all dead. They were making sure you don't have nothing. Right? Trudeau was arrested back in July 19, 2019. He was taken to Guantanamo Bay and tried. Okay. That was 2019. And in the 2021, he was tried and executed with Castro under military tribunal. So this is an actor that was replaced, the real one. Okay. Are those morons going to start arresting trees and animals? I know. Isn't that funny? I mean, it gets to be absolutely. I mean, let's put it this way: Bill Gates wants to put plugs in cows' rear ends. He wants to put plugs in horses' rear ends. He wants to put plugs in every chicken, any animal that creates a gas, including us. He wants to put us into hazmat suits. Us into hazmat suits with plugs in them. So anybody who enjoys walking around with butt plugs, no disrespect, guys, you just gave him an idea. But these butt plugs are not for pleasure. These are to make sure that you don't release anything. And it's not a good thing. Okay. We are natural people. We actually have the right to live, breathe, to sing, to speak, to hear. Like we have the freedom of movement, but this not just a freedom of bowel movement. Because it's exactly what we're going to try and do. They're going to try and stop us even if you use the bathrooms. Like, oh, let's track this and see if it's how far back that goes and see who's responsible for this. Then they also want to make sure you don't have any more beef. And if you actually have any kind of beef, pig, what is it? Pork, beef, chicken, turkey, rabbit, any kind of animal that is in the market. And if you buy these, you are triple taxed. And they actually will raise the prices of these meats. They don't want you to actually eat meat, period. They want you to start eating bugs. Now, they have a lineup of these little wonderful shelves of insects. They got ants, they got caterpillars, they've got cockroaches, they've got crickets, they've got mealworms, all in these bags. And they're all flavored, and you can actually eat those. No, you can't. because your body cannot digest these things, and yet that's what they want you to do. You're not a bug eater. Now, if you needed to survive, say you got caught in the desert somewhere and you needed food to create a bit of a digestion and or to create some sort of an energy in your body, yes, once in a while you can eat a worm or two to survive. That's called survival. But you're not surviving every day and then have a full course meal, a cockroach. Really? And this is what people are trying to do. All these actors have been trying to promote you to get you to eat these things. Don't forget, folks, these actors that are doing this are clones. They don't have any taste buds. They have no idea what that is. All they're doing is chomp, 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 chomp. That's all you get. Oh, it's wonderful. It's delicious. Zilt, zilt. Right? So forget, folks, these people that are eating these bugs. And then one of the actresses, I can't remember her name all of a sudden, and then now she's saying in England, she's from England, and she says, if push comes to shove, if you need to survive, you need to eat your own animals. So now she's telling everybody they need to eat their own dog or cat. That they're far more tastier to eat your dog and cat than have them as a pet. Hollywood has gotten stupider and stupider all the time. Yeah, the UN military is in Canada, but they're not really the UN. Okay, I will say this. They're not really the UN. They're in Canada, but they're not really the UN. Okay, we've actually had an arrival of the military, came in by train. They actually had a whole bunch of tanks and you name it. They came in a week ago or so, and there's hundreds of them come into BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan. They're all over the place right now in Canada. Now, something else you guys might not realize this, but see, as we are so busy trying to focus on the fire and focus on whatever they call the 15-minute city, in Ottawa, you'll see that the Ottawa grounds have been dug down so deep. I mean, deep. I mean, deeper to dig out the tunnels. To basically, they're going to shut them all down. All those tunnels, they're done. Gone. Right? They're closing them all off. But the reason why they're going further down, because they want to find what else is under there. Because don't forget, folks, we've had underground tunnels, underground cities for a long time. Okay, a long time. So it's been going on a long time. So, there was a woman that admitted that she was hired to work she works for Antifa to do the destruction. Now, I'm going to share with you guys now, like I said before, those of you actually are in the Facebook chat room, I'm going to swing you over and show you. This is actually one of the videos. If you haven't seen it, this is going to get you to open your eyes. This is what the red sky looks like in Alberta as we speak. Okay, we begin this right now.
All the sky is red.
Okay. So that tells me that that's really bad. Okay. Now the guy just said all the sky is red. Now, here's another one.
These are some of the haunting visuals of wildfires burning in Alberta. These are some of the haunting visuals of wildfires burning in Alberta. Nearly 20,000 Albertans have been evacuated from their homes as wildfires continue to rage across the province. As of May 15th, 90 active wildfires were reported in central and northern half of Alberta, and 23 of them have been classified as out of control. To make matters worse, a shift in wind direction could lead to unpredictable wildfire behavior in the coming days. I don't believe that the worst is behind us, Alberta Wildfire Agency official Christy Tucker said. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau visited Edmonton to meet with some of the Canadian Armed Forces members who are helping Alberta's firefighting efforts and thanked them for their relentless work. The widespread blazes have shuttered production of the equivalent of 319,000 barrels of oil.
Now, I'm going to take you guys back on this one part right here. Now, have you seen the sky? Now, you see the forest fire down below, but yet you see the aurora borealis. Gee, I wonder why the aurora borealis is there. It's because the aurora borealis is real, and it actually cut out the red sky. It came out, and we are being watched over. People don't realize that aurora borealis is not just there as a decoration from the sky and reflection of the waters. No, it's there for a reason, and I've seen what aurora borealis can do. So like I said, a beautiful color of green.
Production of the equivalent of 319,000 barrels of oil per day, or 3.7% of the national output. Alberta declared a provincial state of emergency because of the wildfires on May 6th. Officials are asking Albertans to prepare emergency kits with medication, ID, pet supplies, cash, non-perishable food, and other items should the need to evacuate arise. They also stress the importance of respecting the fire ban and off-road vehicle ban. Authorities are also preparing in case fires crop up anywhere else in the country. These are some of the haunting visuals of wildfires.
So now you have an idea. There's a bit of a start here. Okay. They're bringing this up and they're showing you something here. They're saying what to prepare for, right? But that's not just it. Now, they're saying, Prime Minister Trudeau was there in Alberta. Well, actually, he was there for 5-10 minutes. And then he went back onto the plane and he flew back. He was just there for a photo op. Okay, that's it. Just a photo op. He wasn't there to help by any means. He wasn't saying, well, how's the fire doing? You notice that he smiled, that he was so happy that there's a fire. Everybody kept on saying, he was like smiling. He wasn't upset. He was like, well, I'm concerned here. Show me this map. We'll have a look at it and see what we can do. No, he wasn't upset. He was smiling. He was so happy. And people asked him, Mr. Trudeau, what do you think of the fire here? Oh, it's not. We'll work on it really soon. It's going to be okay. Really? Are you a freaking idiot? So, okay. I'm going to bring you the story here as well. This young lady here, she's phenomenal. She's knows her stuff, and she knows some people here who actually know. Watch carefully, folks. If you haven't seen this video yet, please pay attention to this, and please share this with others when you get a chance. Okay, here we go.
So just want to have a quick little chat with you guys about those fires that people didn't think Trudeau set. Well, I have a little bit of proof behind me. And it's one of those things where when you see it, you will know the impossible, okay? So for all you ostriches out there, you really do need to get your head out the sand. In the meantime, I'll let you see this little ditty that I found.
Hey everybody, 7:37 p.m. Central Time on the 2nd of June, 2023. It's Friday here in the United States. I've got some breaking news that's pretty bad. This is serious, real serious. Look up here in the upper right-hand corner. Watch this throughout the day today. A giant outbreak of fires has taken place across a whole Canadian province all at once. Look up to the northeast, up here in Quebec. All of Quebec just caught on fire all at once on a clear day. I would say this would be some kind of terrorism of some kind or an attack. Here it is. Here we are. I'm going to let the images load. You can see this morning. It's clear. Just partly cloudy skies. Nothing really crazy going on there. And then, well, here's last night. Here's today. All of southeast Quebec. Just
By the way, people, fire doesn't work that way. That is impossible.
Insane.
To be lit everywhere
Insane.
at the exact same time. That is definitely Trudeau Castro caused.
All at once.
That
Today.
is not normal, people.
And this is on top of Nova Scotia. New Jersey.
Oh, by the way, for all those people that don't know about the 15-minute cities, let me tell you something. New Westminster in BC, which is one of the main cities, almost the size of Surrey and Vancouver, yeah, they just voted to be a 15-minute city. WEF plan not coming into existence? Oh, people, I think it really is. And the burning of our forests is literally the beginning. Wake up.
Okay. What does that tell you? Okay, here's one of them. Now, she's got another one here that I wanted to share. Here we go. Let's see here, bring this up and back here for her one more time.
Good morning. So just wanted to have another chat about those fires happening because, everybody's questioning anything and everything about it. So, number one, the only reason that I know anything is because of the fact I've witnessed it for the last 25 years of living here. So I see them. I've seen them get started. I have seen lightning strikes, but for the majority here, they're started in tourist season because people throw cigarette butts into our dry desert grassland, and it catches fire and goes up our hills. Okay. If you don't believe me, you can check out 2003 firestorm. You can check out the Karamias Creek fire from last year. You can check out the Peachland fire, the 2 Apex fires. They all start on the side of the road, and basically they've all been led back to cigarette butts. Okay. Yes, there are lightning strikes. I'm not denying it, but there's not lightning strikes all the way across Canada, all at the same time, only hitting your rural towns, not all the other open land of Canada that is hundreds of thousands of miles. And it doesn't hit, for some reason, major cities either. So how come when this WEF plan is trying to go into play, and they've already written it down, they've said what they want to do, it's not a secret. Just look it up. Look up Agenda 21. Look up Agenda 30. They are very open about what they want to do. This is their way to get there and follow through. Don't fall for it. Don't let them fool you like they did other things.
Yeah, she's looking at the sky, where we're talking about HARRP, because that's what she knows. Like, she's talking about cigarette butts, but the word BUT, not the extra T on the end. Okay. She wants you to believe this because, yes, people do shoot them out the window, but I have pictures and videos of people actually coming out of a half-ton truck, it's always broken down half-ton truck, with a propane tank and a torch. I mean, a huge torch. They're wearing a hazmat suit and a face mask. Okay. So you can't see them. And they start the fire. Boom. Along the base. And then they bugger off. They're not just, and there's no fire. There's no other forest fire anywhere else. They're just burn it. And then they get in their truck and take off. Okay. Why are they doing this? And yet people say, oh, because of cigarettes. Now, here's one of them. What they do is they take a plastic bag of cigarette butts and they start the torch and they throw the cigarette butts down and they dump the plastic bag on it to make you believe those are cigarette butts that cause the fire. Think about it, folks. People are not always that stupid. And if you do have a vehicle that does not have an ashtray, get one. Canadian Tire still has them, folks. Put one in your car. If you're going to smoke, get yourself an ashtray or a tin can. I don't care how you do it. It's still an ashtray unless you want to be an ashtray. But think about it. I used to be a smoker years ago, but I always had an ashtray in my truck. Okay? Be smart. Stop throwing your cigarettes out the window if you are doing it. Okay. How stupid does the government think that we are when we have proof that they are the arsonists? Well, yeah, that's the thing. Catherine, we know, and yet people still deny it. You can tell a government official, well, here's what's going on. Guess what they say? Well, how do you really know? I mean, do you really know? Are you sure? Yeah. How do you have any proof? Yeah. Oh, well, we'll discuss it later. Or I don't have time right now. We'll discuss it later, or we'll get back to me. That's all you hear is the word get back to me. This is getting to be ridiculous. Okay. Now, when I mentioned to you before a couple weeks ago, when I said talked about the 15-minute city, it actually has been established already. The city of Surrey, British Columbia, here already has started. They already signed the 15-minute city. It has already begun. Okay, they've even did a video on it that they're doing this 15-minute city. They're making it as if it's going to be helping the community. It's helping themselves. Okay. And see, I'm gonna bring this one in for you guys. Where is it here? Let me bring the 15-minute city in here. Okay. I've got to get this other thing set up where I can actually have both you guys. I have both pages that goes into YouTube as well. I just haven't given myself any time to do it. Okay, 15-minute city, Surrey. Surrey, BC in Canada. Okay, the Wally district. Now I showed this to you folks. This is what it looks like. Okay, here's where it is. Look at here. There's your sign. Okay, it says 15. Canada's first 15-minute city. The Flamingo one is ideally situated to take advantage of Surrey 15-minute city, an urban planning concept where building uses and planned amenities are designed to provide access to all human needs by walking or bicycling within a quarter hour or less. 15-minute cities are built from a series of 5-minute neighborhoods, also known as complete communities. Wally District will be one such complete community, and Flamingo One offers the Tien Sher's first opportunity to be part of the high rise community transformation. Wally, and former suburban town that is now emerging into one of Canada's most walkable and transit oriented, culturally inclusive, and diverse cities. Now, this is Surrey, BC. Okay, here's what they're going to offer you: Quick Bites, okay, Church's Chicken, Jagadog, Hot Pan Pizza, A&W, Chicken World, McDonald's, Afghan Bakery and Fast Food, and Burger King. Now, those are your food plans, your Quick Bites. They got recreation. They're trying to show you, here's your district right here. See how it goes into a circle. This is how they control you, okay? And this is what it's going to look like. So they're going to keep you here all the time. You're not going to leave the area. Even when you go to work, okay? When you go to work, your work is in the same region. You're not going to be leaving the 15-minute city. Your work is in the same area as your own house or your apartment, because they don't want you living in a house. They want to take the houses away from you. You won't have any ownership of property. They want to take that away from you as well, where you actually are forced to live in an apartment. Okay. And you're lucky if you even have a dog or a cat. And also, there's no underground parking provided for a vehicle per person. And if you do, one carbon working vehicle is allowed. It will only be electrical cars, and only 5 will be allowed in the area. 5, nothing more. Okay. So they're making it where it's going to be much more difficult to provide you a place to live. And if you do, they're forcing you to go here or wherever you want to do. A lot of people are trying to leave town and move out of town. And guess what? Now they're going to pass a law here in Canada where it'll be illegal to move. Did you know that? They're going to make it illegal to move. You can't move away. Think about it. Because you are seeking your freedom. They're actually trying to pass a law that you can't leave town. Like, don't leave town. It's almost like, like a Russian credit card. Don't leave home. You know? So, let's see here. So your 15-minute city, it's going to look like this. This is Surrey. It just gives you an example, folks. There's your region, but see all this part right here, that circle, it says Flamingo 1, Flamingo 2, Flamingo 3, and Wally Station. All of this area that I'm circling, that's all your 15-minute city. That's it. And this is where you come from one end to the other, and then you don't leave. You stay there. They don't want you leaving it. Okay. Your amenities, that shows you some of the areas. It says the Flamingo Club says hobby room, community gardens, barbecue area, children's play area, outdoor lounge, co-working space, theater, gym and workplace space, guest suite, dog play park, 100% fully electrified. Listen to me, 100% fully electrified parkade, fully electrified. What does that tell you? Not one vehicle, carbon run vehicle is allowed to be in the parking area. And it says 2-car share vehicles by Moto, 2-car share vehicles, and Gearhead bike repair station. I mean, they're trying to get you to get these little new type of new type of little, not other, if it isn't bicycles, these new, whatever they call them, electrical carts. And that's all. Like they're trying to get you to live in this region. That's it. I mean, like I said before, this is the beginning of it. They think this is what's really going on. Okay. The people that are responsible, gee, look at this. Interesting. How come they're wearing this on their face? Doesn't make any sense. They're telling people that, oh, sorry, I forgot. Once you live in this place, you still have to wear this. Okay. The face diapers. Very possible. Okay. So now you know, myself, I'm a very spiritual guy. I don't hate people. I really don't. I never did. But it disturbs me. It bothers me a great deal when we have to deal with this sort of crap. And I'm trying to figure out why these folks are trying to make us do their bidding, right? Let's see here. One more thing I want to look at. Oh yeah, here now. Here's 50. Okay, here's New Westminster considering 50-minute city motion. Here's right there. I'm gonna bring this up, and this is New Westminster considering 50-minute city motion, and they did pass the motion. Let's see here. Okay. That's not what I'm chasing. Where is the motion, folks? Not your commercials. No, I want no commercials. Oh, I forgot. Your 50-minute city is right here. Oh, we'll have champagne every night. Right. Uh-huh. Okay. It's just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. No, I'm not going to play you guys. Forget it. No. If you can't do anything, then I'm not going to deal with you. Global. Let's see what happens. And it's already passed. They already said they're going to do it. So now you know. Okay, this is June 15th. Thing is that, like I said before, folks, did you hear the word? What the news media had said, the mainstream media said, conspiracy theory. That means they're getting paid to lie to you. Do you understand? Mainstream media, lie to you. LIE. Okay. So it's no. And you know what? Here's what's going to get me. And I'm going to say this. You know, I've been doing journalism for a lot of years. People like her, whoever actually says these words, they themselves are also going to see themselves getting in trouble. Okay. She used the word conspiracy theory, and that is, and those you may not know this, the history of the word conspiracy theory was created by the CIA back in the 1965. After JFK Sr., President John Kennedy, when he was assassinated, and then they were doing the investigation regarding this, and then when the CIA was being questioned in government, they were questioned, and they said nothing but conspiracy theory, and that line basically stuck. So anybody who tries to try to come up with something that they believe is true, or that was these are going to happen, that's what they're doing. The news media is using that word conspiracy theory. Well, here's folks. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Conspiracy fact is they're going to try their darndest to make it where you don't leave. Okay. And it is, yes, Catherine, it is a complete concentration camp trap. No other way to put it. Now, here's what this woman's saying. Global's saying this, right? The Global is saying this right now in Canada. But how come the UK? I'm going to see if I can find that file. I think I have it in here. In the UK, it's already happening with them. Okay. They actually are trapped. They don't want them to leave their home, and they're told that they can't leave. Now, before we go any further, there's a fellow here I want you to see. I'm going to bring this up, and I'll spin this around.
The climate right now.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, here it is. Now watch this guy coming up.
Now is no warmer than it's been many times throughout history. Our baseline is now the lowest that carbon dioxide has been in 600 million years. As far as temperature change, the IPCC's first report of 1992 showed that the medieval warm period was warmer than the present. Well, this didn't fit the narrative. So by the time the 1996 report came out, it was a completely contrived graph called the hockey stick. So what they did was they got rid of the medieval warm period and the Little Ice Age. And so instead of the graph doing this, they flattened it out, and then they added instrumental record on the end that looks like it's going way up. The point is that the people that are calling them out on it are not getting the media coverage. You know, because look, at this point, there's billions of dollars going into the whole climate change narrative.
Now you know. And the thing is that the WEF actually admitted this is what their plan is. I mean, Klaus Schwab said, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here's one of the photos I got here. This was June the 7th, 2023, and it says the Quebec clear. Okay, Quebec's skies were clear on this one on the left side, and in New York was red. I mean, red sky and like a fog. You're right, you can't hardly see, and yet they questioned it. They're going like, this is the same day, same time, but how come they're blaming Quebec or any other Canadian province? Or they said, oh, well, the smoke came from Alberta. No, it didn't come from Alberta. It's way too far away from New York. Oh, Alberta is responsible. No, it didn't come from Alberta. There's no way it would go that way. It was supposed to come from Quebec because Quebec is closest to New York. It doesn't carry that far because it would dissipate by the time it gets to New York. So there's always an excuse. Okay, I learned that from a fellow who actually is a meteorologist. He says, no, the smoke won't go that far. It actually would dissipate. Okay. Also, I wanted to find this other fellow. Okay. Okay. Here's one of them here. Okay, this is the fifth. This is actually, now you guys some of you guys may know or like or dislike Chris Sky. He wants to be the mayor of Ontario. He's trying his darndest to help us out, right? Help you guys out. But here's what he's talked about in the same story regarding the 15-minute city. Okay, here he is.
We want to create an actual prison infrastructure around you. Really? And if people think this is a conspiracy theory, Oxford, England already has the 15-minute city implemented on the ground, everything there. It is the model for the rest of the world to follow. They have changed it into 6 so-called districts, just like the Hummer Games. In each district, they removed the majority of automobile lanes. The ones that are still available, they call them ultra low emissions lanes. So you can only drive on them if you have an electric vehicle or you're a government vehicle. Now, between your district and the next district, they put physical traffic barricades, cement bollards that can come up from the ground when they don't want you to leave, and traffic cameras that not only monitor you, but take your license plate and will automatically fine you if you leave the district when you're not allowed, because they have lit times where you're allowed to leave and not. We want to create.
Okay, so is this really a conspiracy theory? No. Okay, now you understand. Global actually is waning in your face and telling you from the media, oh, this is conspiracy theory. And Chris Guy knows, because there's people he's got. He actually has been into England many times. He's traveled there, and here's something that Mr. Trudeau had said. We call him the communist dictator and WF puppet. And Justin Castro can't wait to lock up Canadians again, this time under climate lockdowns. But here's what he had stated. Okay. This was yesterday. This is yesterday's interview. A real quick one.
What we learned from this COVID crisis, we will be applying to the climate crisis, to the housing crisis, to reconciliation, to making sure that everyone has good jobs and careers that carry them through and create opportunities for their kids.
Now, if you notice, folks, the guys behind him are wearing face diapers again. And yet he's going off doing his own thing. Why are these guys wearing face diapers? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Are they security to watch his back? Or are they don't want to be identified? I never seen these two guys before. And why did he say we have a climate? And all of a sudden he went, oh, something else, right? Watch carefully, because this is what people are trying to do. They're trying to get you to believe that this is all nothing but, blowing the wind. Like I said before, I'm just sharing with you what you need to know we're ready for, be prepared for it. But don't worry yourself sick over it. Here's a lot of people do. They actually have a tendency of worrying themselves sick and go like, I don't want to get sick over this. You won't get sick over it. Trust me, you won't. But it's a challenge. Let's see, CDC director. Let's see here. No, that's not the one. Where is it here? I mean, there is so much here regarding the fire 15-minute city, but I want to let you all know, watch closely and have a look at your streets. Okay, and I will ask you guys to do this. Watch your streets. Basically, you'll see a lot of construction being made right now as we speak. I'm talking about the city is going nuts. They're working on sidewalks everywhere. Why all of a sudden they're doing it all at once? Now, I've done, of all the years I've been here in Surrey, and the areas, all the areas of Surrey from one end to the other, I've never seen so much work done on the sidewalks. I mean, really. I mean, not just sidewalks, but all the merge turnoffs. They're no longer them anymore. They're no longer part of it. They're actually they close them all off. Now they're squared off. Okay, but they got these pylons there. These tall things in the corner, and they say, "Oh well, they're for you to cross. You know, your vehicle, your bicycle, whatever have you." They're really adamantly pushing the bicycle lane. They're making so many bicycle lanes now, more than ever, and they're making it they are a priority. Bicycles and other types of transportation are considered more priority than over a vehicle. And where is it here? Okay. Okay, I've got her here somewhere. Okay, yeah, there's two of them here.
We want to create an actual prison.
Okay, we did that one already. I'm going to show you guys something here. You're going to be totally blown away on this one. This is a this is correct. Nope. Nope. Where is that one? I didn't have it here. Anyways, I was going to show you play the video where the lady admitted that she works with Antifa. Yeah, plus traffic circles. Okay. Now, this one here, once you see this is actually done in the UK. Okay. This is what they had made. They made this machine to make clouds, but what they do, I mean, you're going to be totally blown away by this. Okay. I've never seen this before ever, but when this is okay, while I explain it here, you can see for yourself.
Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I couldn't even hear myself. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. I told you. It's raining. That's unbelievable. Oh, NASA's playing God. It's making its own weather.
See, what did he say? Someone's playing God to control the weather. And that's exactly what they do. And people don't realize what's going on. It's just totally blown away. The one that let's see here. Okay, here's one thing I want to bring up. I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to swing this over. Okay, how to prevent cash from disappearing. Okay, here's what this one person had done. I think it's a great idea because he lives in France. But here's what he had shared. So here's what you guys need to do. Okay. He says, I've been in France for 3 months now, and their approach to this is simply fantastic. I'd like to share a bit of it. He said, a very well-known supermarket here decided to go cashless. A group of 50 people got together and agreed that they would all do a big shop on the same day, pilling their trolleys, your carts, to a brim, and even person getting to the checkout. Now, the human checkout, not the machines, and having everything scanned before bringing cash out. Now, the staff were absolutely overrun there, and management is in a complete tiz. Everyone repeatedly and in a very organized and polite fashion, acting as if they knew nothing. No edges, no rudeness, no humiliation. The supermarket reinstated cash. Petrol, which is fuel, fuel stations filling up with fuel, then only having cash to pay. Restaurants, groups of people, friends going out for dinner, and nobody taking phones or credit cards. It means don't bring your phones or your credit cards, only the cash. They are doing it in every single area of France, simply refusing to be a part of it. The reason it works because it is organized in large groups. One person here and another there doesn't work. It needs to be really carefully constructed. Okay, so this will benefit you guys if you try it out yourself. If you can get some families and friends and do that the same thing, this will benefit you guys a whole lot. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can find this particular interview, but for some reason I don't know what happened to it. Is that it here?
One of them is going to be exposed to.
No, that's not it. Okay, I've somehow lost it in here. I wanted actually the woman herself that was interviewed, and she admitted. I wonder if it's inside of here. Go to the bottom. Back. Now, if you guys ever want to see more information, what I do and what I'm involved in, you can go to my Telegram page. If you don't know what my Telegram page is, you can look for True North Strong and Free. It's in capital letters. True North Strong and Free. That's my page, and you'll see a lot of things that are placed in there that I use and share for everybody. And it's important that we all need to support each other and help each other out. Let's see here. Now, I'm hoping, let's go a second here. I'm going to get closer to my face. Yeah, I'm also going to share some great information from a good friend of mine, is the late Jordan Maxwell. He's got something really good for you guys to know too down the road, which will help benefit. Now, I'm looking for the I wanted to share with you the protest in the UK. If you get a chance, folks, look in the word United Kingdom or England and type in the 15-minute cities and see whether it's on YouTube, and have a look yourself, and you'll see the fight that people put in a good fight to stand up for their rights and not allowing. I mean, even the police don't know what to do. They are told what to do, even though they're saying, well, we're doing our job, but they're not. They're afraid to lose their work. They're afraid to lose their job because they think they can't do it. So, let's see here. I'm hoping that they find this one. Okay, that's it. No. A lot of people are also talking about the med beds, but we'll talk about that later on down the road. Because at the moment, we need to talk about what's going on here in our cities and what's going to happen next. Yeah. Danielle Smith have actually said this too herself. She says big tech and government censorship. Now she's the premier of Alberta, and she said that the big tech and government censorship is becoming a danger to free speech and around the world. And she says my Facebook account has been banned. Her Facebook No. Every time it happens. Okay. She says, my Facebook account has been banned from posting content for I can't something days. As a premier of a province of 4.6 million Albertans, if they can prevent me from communicating with you, imagine what they can do to any or other of us, regardless of our political leanings. We must all stand against censorship. See, even Danielle Smith, she is the premier of Alberta. She's trying her darndest to stop this from happening. You know, okay, you want free speech, but see, don't forget, Justin Trudeau actually passed that bill, Bill C-10 and 36, to make sure you can't talk anything bad about the government. And she's a government. And now she's got Facebook to censor her. So I always tell people, make sure how you use your words. Try not to get them to track you, any indicators, because if you let them track you by any means of using certain words, twist them a bit where people can still understand them, but you don't have to make them were, legitimate word. You can actually miss a letter. When I call Trudeau, I call him Trudum. Now that they know. Okay, what else? Okay, just one there. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Play this again. Where is that coming from? Gee, I wonder why. Where is it coming from? See how the fires get started? That's what I wanted to show you. Now, I believe this is the town that was called Paradise, California. A few years back, it went on fire too. Now, you see all the houses burnt down, but not one tree burnt. All the houses and the cars melted. Trees burnt, all the houses burnt down and the cars melted. Okay. This is, I believe, this is actually, this reminds me, and I'm thinking this what this is part of Paradise, California, and or it may be another town in BC here. It also burnt down. This is all done by that laser from the sky. HARRP. Now, if you're wondering how they were able to see the side view of it, how it played twice, because the guy had a camera in the yard, and so when it hit the house, then they recorded it. So he put it in two films, two splits. That's what they do. That's how the forest fires get started. And let's see here. Okay. Now you have an idea what is going on and to be prepared for it, because you're going to start seeing a few more things happening. They're not, these houses when I mean, and I was saying in Paradise, California, good friends of mine, Don and Doug Newsom, lost their house. They actually had a radio station stationed in Paradise, California, and they were I started with those guys after I was with 1410 C Fun. Now I did the very first internet show back in 2003 with them, with Ariel Louise. If it wasn't for Ariel Louise, I never would have known either one of them, Don or Doug. And the guys were fantastic people to get to know. I mean, and so when I heard that their house got burnt down, their car melted. I've never heard of any fire ever melt a car. I mean, yes, burn a car, but melted it. Okay. So this is basically what happens. Like he said both him and Don and Doug both lost everything in their house. Like the house was gone, like as in down. They lost everything inside, like all memories. So a lot of people, and I helped, I tried to do as much as I can to get people to donate money to help get them on their feet, to keep them going. So they actually moved to another area of the town. Reason why Paradise, California was burnt, all the houses were burned down because the military about a month before wanted to set up a base there, and Paradise refused them. They basically said, no, we changed our mind. We're not going to let you do that. So they came in and went, burn you. Okay, you're done. So now you're forcing them to move. That's what they did. This is before Trump. Trump was just coming in back then. He did not even know about what happened. And then he was notified after that this was intentional, because I remember him actually going around trying to say here, oh yeah, I didn't know that. Like he didn't know. So, but again, everyone had, and understand one thing, folks, there was an underground city under Paradise, California. So they had to get people to leave so they can actually rescue all the kids that were under there. It was big, and you had a lot of extraterrestrials, aliens living under the ground in the area of Paradise. So it was really, really bad, and that's why they did it. Okay. Let's see. Also, too, yeah, that should be it there. I missed the one person that I wanted to share with you, the lady who admitted what she had done with, like her actually saying, she said herself, she says that Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau, hired her and her Antifa group to cause trouble. They paid, she says, we don't need money. They pay us for it. Okay. She said, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau paid us to do the deliberation, to do the damage, to do to do attacking, to cause trouble, to cause anything and everything, including the LGBTQ. When people are actually protesting about the LGBTQ, Trudeau's people, Trudeau hires all the Antifa people to go out there and disturb and cause the trouble. So they're put there for a reason. Okay, he hires them to cause the trouble. And they admitted it. They said they get paid very well doing it. They're employed by your prime minister. Yeah. So now you know. So I can't figure out how come people are not even wakened up enough to even say, okay, we need to get rid of this guy. Even just the idea said, look, protest. Enough is enough. Get rid of him. Nobody's doing anything about it. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Okay, whatever. You guys got problems. Now, let's see if I can quickly have a look here on my desktop and see if it is in here. Let's. Do I have it? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. No, I thought I did. I was hoping I did. Okay. No, I don't. Okay, well, maybe next time I'll have to hang on to it and make sure it's on my file, and I'll bring it up. I swore I had it. So I was going through so many files so I can share this with you guys, but the next time. Anyways, to contact me, if anybody wants to get a reading, by any chance, if you want to call in, like for make an appointment to make readings, you're more than welcome to. contact my number. And if you want to make an appointment, you can go to my website, whiteskycloud.com. And okay. Blair says, I have a petition against Trudeau for treason. If anyone is interested in signing it, and it's called Pass the Torch. I could send it to somebody else. So, okay, listen. So now that you guys are if you're in the chat room and you see Blair's name, you can actually look her up. I'm sure she's in Facebook somewhere. And knowing that she's got the petition against Trudeau, guys can sign that petition. Be worth your while, right? Let's see. Catherine says, I have noticed a lot more people waking up and joining the conspirators this past year. No freebies. Okay, I hope that link works in here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the link works in there. I can't touch it because it'll take me to the page, but you guys can click on that page that Vivian has as well. Also, I have a True North Stronger free page on Facebook too. You can also join that one as well. I have over 1,000 people in that one. But trying to see if you guys can download the Telegram app. Now, those of you wonder how come you're not, some people say, well, what's the sense of joining Telegram itself? Well, actually, it's run by the military. So you're well taken care of. It actually is military controlled. Okay. It's the good guys, the ones that are taking care of us. And that's why we can talk about anything, do anything on Telegram. Nobody can interfere with this one. Telegram is very safe. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, guys, if you're, like I said, if anybody's interested in wanting to get a reading, you're more than welcome to call my number and to make an appointment. Also too, this coming weekend, actually this Saturday, if you're in the region of Surrey, Abbotsford, Aldergrove, I'm going to be doing the Indigenous Day. I'll be up in a different location. You can actually have a look on my page down below. And yeah, I know Telegram is full of cram full of scammers, but just delete them, get rid of them. Anybody who's trying to get money from you, if you see a line in one of the pages that says hello or hi, just dump them. Those are just block them. They're out there. They're desperately trying to sell their digital money, their Bitcoin. They're trying to get rid of it and they can't. So they're trying to get people to come on board. Hey, digital coin's still good for you. No, just say no. You're done. Block them. Okay, because I don't allow anybody trying to promote any digital coin on my Telegram page. None. No investments on my page is allowed. My job is to share what's going on in this world. That's it. Yeah, most of us are on Telegram, and now they don't put you in jail. We don't go to jail in our Telegram page. We don't go there. We got the freedom that we want. So like, folks, we have more freedom and more exercise. I mean, that's why I enjoy it. You get the odd person that they want to join it and they have a look at it and say, and they will leave. That's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I like to get people to join as much as possible so they can actually keep updated what's going on in the community. It's important. A lot of us do. We want to find out what's going to happen the next day. And like I said before, as always, folks, keep an eye out for even June the 17th. The 17th is going to be a very important day, the date itself, as well as July 17th. So you got the 2 dates that are coming up is going to get you to see things are going to be hugely awakened. Yeah, Vivian says, always say get lost scammer, then block them. Yes, great idea. You got it. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for being on the program. Please like and share as much as you can. If you're on my YouTube page, please like and share as well. I try to get people to be part of it as much as possible, to let them know what's going on across the world, across the land. I may not have as many people that are my followers on YouTube, but you know what? That's fine. I don't mind, because I've seen people that are trying to be share the truth. And I've seen people have actually had 20, 30, 100,000 or more people on their, like page on YouTube. And next thing you know, if YouTube doesn't like it, they just either strike you and they just lower all of your likes, like all your subscribers, and you say, oh, your subscribers gone, they decide not to come back. No, it's YouTube's doing it because YouTube does not want you to be successful. If you're talking about puppies and kittens and whatever have you, that kind of stuff, then they'll give you all the millions, right? So number 17 is Trump's number. That's why 17 is going to come this June. 2 days, right? 2 days. Something really big's going to happen. That's what I'm being told. So, yes, I have noticed more military helicopters. We've had a flyover. We had a military flyover here in Surrey. We had 6 of them fly over us in Surrey. That was yesterday. In fact, yeah, it was yesterday. I was actually trying to do a show, and I was doing my other radio show, and the military helicopters were so low above my house vibrated. It's like it shimmied, and I had to go like, oh, I had to pause because I was pre-recording, and I had to pause the show. But mind you, that's good because I'm glad that they're actually staying close by and watching us. And anytime that any of us, like myself or anyone else, they're watching me, they're watching you. Those who actually have these shows, that we are truth seekers, of truth tellers. Trump knows. Trump and his people, they all know that we are doing as much as we can to help out. So, no matter how small, how large, you're still sharing. And that's important. That you're still sharing. You're doing the job. And that's what everybody's asking you to do, is keep sharing and like and subscribe. It's important. Press that bell. Boom, boom, boom. You name it. It's the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Vivian says there's helicopters every night in my hood for the past 3.5 years. Yes, because they're at it. Well, a lot of them are stationed at a pinhold. Okay. My dad was in there. My father was in the military at one time. So yeah, Alberta has pinhold. That's one of the locations for the Canadian Armed Forces. Let's see here. Badlands Ojibwe says, had a Channel 47 Chinook fly over our house yesterday. Unheard of in these parts. Yes, it is unheard of. And let's see here. EMIT says, are they starting on the fault lines? There, the thing is that we're going to go back to the fire part. They are, and here's what someone actually said to me. In fact, they sent me the message. They said, they believe the cause of the fires, because don't forget, Christopher Freeland actually went to Saskatchewan, got people to sign over, the rights to the land, because as long as they burn the land, you can't grow foods, you can't grow products, you can't survive. So they're forcing you into the city. It's what it really is, right? If they burn out the land, the cattle can't survive, they can't graze, and this is what their plan was. Or if you're say a corner store they used to go to get your groceries, and if they burn that down from the old cars of fire, forest fire, and they burn that store down, then you can't go grocery shopping locally, and that means you got to go into the big city. Well, then they won't let you out of the big city. Like, this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. This was their plan to make sure that you don't get out, like you don't get back home. But I will advise you as much as you possibly can, because I remember last week or 2 weeks ago, when Trudeau's police officers were actually blocking the highway and telling people telling the search and rescue not to help and not to interfere. And they said, let it burn. Now, here's why are the police telling them to let it burn? Not all the police. These are certain people that are positioned there and say, let it burn. And the people that are farmers and people living in the regions got bulldozers. They have their own tractors, bulldozers, and they're going to push that fire back themselves. And the RCMP told them, no, you can't do it. And if you do use your tractor or try to stop the fire, then we're going to arrest you. And guess what? The bands went, screw you. You're on reservation. You can't come anywhere near us. You have no district, no power here. So they backed off. If it wasn't for that, that's why they're trying to get you off the reserves, off the reservations. So, again, stand your grounds, guys. It's very important. This is what their plan was, to get you off of your reservations. And so that the plan was also, another plan was too, in Alberta has gold under the ground, and there's a gold mine under there. Okay. Christopher Freeland was sent down there for one reason, is to take the land away from you. Because if you can't grow food, then they're going to seize the land, and then they can build the gold mine, because there's a gold mine. There's real gold under the ground. Anytime any area has been burnt, there's a gold mine under there. Okay, gold mine, and there has been gold in Alberta mined before. There has been gold mined in Quebec before. In fact, in British Columbia, don't forget, folks, many years ago, back in 1865, 1866, was Barkerville, the town of Barkerville, that was gold. There was gold there. And so, there's gold in certain areas. There's a friend of mine that came to see me as a client. He showed up in a very old car, beat up car, and when he came and sat down in front of me, and I looked at him, I said, "Oh my God, I don't know why, but I'm seeing gold all around you. Like, I mean, I'm talking about gold. Like, you got gold. Are you mining gold?" And he goes, and he smiled, and he goes, "Yes, I just bought a gold mine." Now, he bought that gold mine back in 1999. So now he's got this gold mine. This guy is well off, absolutely well off. So his family came over, and we're so pleased and happy that the man himself kept it a secret for so long, because he wasn't sure if there was going to be success in this specific gold mine. They thought it was all mined out. I said, no, there's more. You just have to go to a certain angle of the underground mine, and you have to go to the right, and you hit the part of the wall to the right, and you'll get gold. Well, that's what he did. For some reason, he took my advice. He tapped the wall another foot and a half, and they found more gold. So, this is what happens. Like, I'm not saying that everybody can become successful finding gold, but this man already had a gold mine. He put all his money into it. So this is what I'm telling people: you can do well in investing. And I also tell people too right now, as much as you possibly can, even though they're trying to push the digital on you, invest in gold and silver, but don't invest in anything else. Like, gold and silver is far better for you to invest in, because it's safer, and actually you'll start hearing about gold and silver come up more often. Even though you may hear the words, well, gold's going down, silver's going down, don't worry about that. Just buy it. Okay, because it's going to go up like crazy by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. For sure, it's going to go up, and you're going to be absolutely satisfied and really appreciating of it. Okay, if you've got gold jewelry, or if you've got some things that you're not even using anymore, you can always have it melted down or invest into it. That's all I can say, right? Okay. Yeah, Trudeau announced that the fires were burning to control the wild animal population. That is horse crap. That's what it said. They were making up a story. 'Cause remember them saying that was the Saskatchewan when Christopher Freeland said they're going to try to protect the wildlife. They're going to protect the caribou that was in the region. So they wanted to make sure that nobody actually has the land, and they were going to take the land away from the public, and they were going to control it. All right. Well, their goal was not to protect the caribou, was to protect their land investment that's under the ground. That's where the caribou are. Okay. They're trying to seize good quality water and land that is really good for the animals. And so they're using the caribou as the excuse. Okay. So, yeah. So guys, please, as much as you possibly can, please like and share this with everyone. And here in Canada, I'm up in British Columbia, but again, I'm showing you some really factual stories, what's been going on, whether it's in Surrey, whether it's in New Westminster, here in the British Columbia region, and it's actually going always far back as Kelowna and Kamloops, because they're starting 50-minute city. There's two. And also I'm going to Alberta, where there's Calgary, Edmonton. Now, there have been a lot of fires in Edmonton too. Remember this one too. Yeah. Edmonton has had on the side, like basically a fire started immediately on the side of the highway heading to Edmonton. These are huge fires, and they're actually next to the gas plants, by the way. And again, it was not a cigarette butt. I can tell you that right now, because the fire was too great, and they were trying to put the fire out, but for some reason the fire wasn't stopping to go out. So whatever was put on the material, on the grass itself, kept it burning. It's almost like as if you're going to put, if you throw water in the fire, it keeps burning. And that's exactly what it was doing. Let's see here. And fires caused to, yeah. Oh, now something else that you guys may not realize. Think about this. I meant to mention this to you because anybody who's an American we may know. Historically, a lot of cities have burnt down. Okay. Now, if some corporation wanted to own a specific area or be in control of it, what do? If they know they can control it, they will actually burn that area out. Think about the San Francisco fire. Think about the Chicago fire. Who started it? To this day, no one even knows who did. All they're going to say is, oh, it's a candle. One candle burnt the whole city down. One candle burnt all of San Francisco. One candle burnt Chicago. One candle burnt New York. Think about it, folks. Those were intentional. Why? Because they wanted to change the city district. They wanted to be in control of it. Those are your corporations. That was your Bilderberg people. They did it purposely. They burnt it down for a reason. They were in control. These guys have been making plans to do this for a long, long time. And that's what they did. They're initially using the same idea as using excuse, and they're burning out these people, burning out these places, whether it's in Europe. I mean, let's put it this way. Even Europe's on fire all of a sudden. All Europe's on fire. Like what? Why is Europe on fire? Doesn't make any sense. They never had fire before. Fire in the fields. Where did the fire come from? Oh, it was electrical, or is it lightning? No, there's no lightning. Yeah, there was lightning, but guess who their lightning coming from? HARRP. Think about it, right? That's lightning. Yes, it is lightning. They created lightning. It's not natural lightning. It was them who created that lightning to make sure it did spark. Makes sense, right? So yeah, they're telling the truth. It was lightning from them. It was not naturally done. It was created to look like it's lightning. And you'll see many videos for the last 2 to 3 years. You'll see these, and they're shooting all this stuff from the sky. Well, who's doing this? Where is it coming from? Who's shooting these damn things from the sky? Because these are invisible these are cloned ships, okay, disguised in the clouds, right? Think about it, folks. They're hidden in the clouds. They do this purposely. There's a reason for it. This is not, we think that you think that you're advanced and as far as knowing what's going on. You have no idea what they're trying to do. You have no idea. Like people say, well, Trump's involved, or Trump's trying to prevent all this to happen. He can't do everything all at once. Now, if he's in control of DARPA, why are they doing all this? They still want you to see stuff. They want you to see the truth. I mean, let's put it this way. Trump does not need the gold because he already seized that from the Vatican already. I mean, he seized millions and millions and millions of bars, and he took it all back to the United States. He brought it all back. His people, like all the military, the Special Alliance Forces, brought it all back by the truckloads, loads of it, thousands. It took them months to move all that. Months. It's there already. Okay, they didn't have that much money back then. And he's like, but it was the military that brought it back. The alliance, they brought it all back. It's all, so the gold is there. So they're not looking for gold. They don't need money. Trump doesn't need money. It's all there. Absolutely. The guy's not poor. He's more than a billionaire, but I would say the guy who's actually a trillionaire is Bill Gates. Well, the late Bill Gates. Again, I hardly mentioned his name, but he's actually one of the major causes of all his land losses, because he's been buying out land for so long, trying to take it away from people. and buying out people, forcing the farmers, and here I go again, the farmers who actually are growing the foods, raising their cattle, raising their pigs, raising animal, chickens, you name it. And here they're trying to get this food out to the public, like you and I, into the stores. And then Gates says, I'll pay you 3 or 4 times the amount of money worth of this vegetables or this food, and just don't sell it to anybody. Just burn it or destroy it. Then I'll buy your land too while I'm at it. And that's exactly what they do. They try. He's already tried to buy out over 80% of farmers' land. And if he doesn't get his own way, he was burning the barns down with the animals alive. He's ruthless. He's got people. This man's an investor. Okay? He's an investor. He invests in himself. He invests in depopulating. That's his investment. Because he works with Klaus Schwab. He's been working with him for such a long time. Those are best friends. They're both German. Okay? Both. Even Gates is not the true name. Right? That's not his true last name. Gates. His real name is he's a Bilderberg or Rockefeller. No, I think he's a Rockefeller. That's his true birth background. So he's part of the elites. He's part of the bad people. You know what I mean? And it's happening here in BC, Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan. They try to put pressure on the farmers. Why do you think the East Indians came out 2 or 3 years ago and they're trying to protest and saying no food, no farmers, no farmers, no food? They've been doing it already, and nobody even paid attention to them. They're going like, oh, they're a bunch of East Indians. No, they're telling you the truth. That's what happened into their country because Gates went after them there first. Now they're doing it here in Canada. Think about it, folks. Anything that's coming from another country, if it's already started the exercise of it, we're next. Okay. When Chris Sky said the UK was the first practice grounds, he was right. UK was the first practice ground. Then he went after Australia, and then they're coming after us. And it's going to come through Canada. It's not just our spots. I mean, they're talking about every province. Alberta, they can barely touch. Okay. This is the reason why you have a premier in Alberta that's trying to protect you guys. So there's no 15-minute city. She doesn't want this to happen. That's why she's trying to separate the country away from Trudeau so it's not controlled. Then they can take back your freedom. But watch her carefully. She is trying to help you guys. But all you guys want to do is dig and hurt her. She's trying to come out. You remember now too. The last 2 people that were part of that was premiers there once before had done major damage as an NDP representative. They did some major damage to your own province where I once lived in. Okay. And now this one woman comes in and she's trying her darndest to help you guys. And the first thing you do is tear her down. Oh, she's a racist. No, she's not. She's going against Trudeau. She's fighting against him. She doesn't like the guy. She knows he's an idiot. But she won't tolerate his crap either. And then they're saying, oh, because she's a woman. Bullshit. Women are far more intelligent than men are most of the time. They know what they're doing. Doesn't take, women have the smarts. That's why they're called life givers, because they carry babies first. Men, all we do is complain. We act like the babies. I'm hurting. I got a sore finger. We'll kiss your boo-boo. Okay. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys being in the program and watching. Please like and share this as much as you can with everyone. And we'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, have a great weekend and looking forward to see you guys next week. I'm doing my darndest trying to get the word out there. We watch each other's back. Don't hate each other. Love them. Forgive them. They're trying to do everything they can to help each other out. And if you got somebody that doesn't want to hear you, oh, that's conspiracy theory. Don't forget, folks, that the mainstream media is trying to tell people is still trying to be conspiracy theory. I just look at them and say, you know what? Stop bullshitting me. We've already lost a couple of global directors that actually work for Global, and they got fired because they were telling the truth. They were watching the truth, and they questioned them, and they didn't like being questioned, so they lost their position. Okay, they're out there. So anyways, guys, be good to each other, and be guys, and God be with you guys, and be careful not to hurt each other, but also be good to each other. And let's see here, we're gonna go out with my music. Where are you? Oh, I can't find my music. What you said? What? Let's see here. There we are. I close all my windows, and there it is.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is it war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all bleed, gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace. All in life, isn't it time for us to stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, in peace. All right, let it be.